Okay. Only one student has done right yesterday question. Na? Let's discuss that question first. What is the question? Anyone remember? Am I audible?
I have that screenshot of the question.
Okay. Find the directional derivative of v square where v is equal to xy square I cap plus zy square j cap plus xz square k cap at point 203 in the direction of outward normal to the sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 14 at the point 321. है ना? So we have to calculate the directional derivative of v square. So first we have to calculate v square. V vector is given. So v square means v dot v. If we want to calculate the square of any vector, it basically means we have to calculate the dot product of that vector with itself. So v square means v dot v. So this is v vector xy square I cap plus zy square j cap plus xz square k cap dot same vector. So we will get this x square y4 plus z square y4 plus x square z4. So this is the dot product, means we got the v square. Now since we have to calculate the directional derivative of v square, we have to calculate the gradient of v square, that is del of v square, that is gradient of v. And we know what is the del operator, I del by del x plus j del by del y plus k del by del z. This is the expression of v, and if you differentiate it, then the first and the third term is containing x. So this is 2xy4 plus 2xz4 I cap. Then first and second term contain y. It will be 4x square y cube plus 4y cube z square j cap. And second and third term contain z. So they come in the k cap, 2y4z plus 4x square z cube k cap. Any problem in this derivative?
No, sir.
No. So since we have to calculate the directional derivative at point 203, so what we do is we will put 203 in this expression of derivative. So at 203, after putting this, the first term is goes to 0 because y is 0. Second term goes to 0 because y is 0, and second term contain y in both terms, so that will be 0. So in after putting 203, we have only I cap term and k cap term, that is 324 I cap plus 432 k cap. We can take 108 common, that is 3 I cap plus 4 k cap. So this is the directional derivative of v square, but we have to calculate this in the direction of outward normal to the sphere, and the equation of the sphere is x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 14. So now we have to calculate normal to the sphere. So the equation of the sphere is x square plus y square plus z square minus 14 equal to 0. So we have to calculate normal to this, means we have to calculate the gradient of this expression, this function. So if we take this function as a f, we have to calculate the gradient of this. Again, the expression of gradient I del by del x plus j del by del y plus k del by del x, and this is x square plus y square plus z square minus 14. This is nothing but the equation of the sphere which I have given.
Repeat the last portion once again.
Sorry?
Repeat the last portion once again.
The
The gradient part.
gradient of f. F means the function of the equation of sphere, x square plus y square plus z square minus 14.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this will operate on this because 14 is a constant, so the derivative of 14 is 0. So if x will operate on x, y will operate on y, and z will operate on z. So we will get this 2xi plus 2yj cap plus 2z k cap, and we have to calculate the directional derivative at 3 to 1. So we will calculate the normal at this point. So del f at 3 to 1, After putting 3 to 1, we will get this 6 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 2 k cap. And for directional derivative or any derivative in the direction of other vector, we have to do the dot product with the unit vector. So what we do is we will take the unit vector of this 6 I cap plus 4 j cap plus 2 k cap. So for unit vector we have to divide this vector by its magnitude, and magnitude is 6 square plus 4 square plus 2 square. So after dividing by magnitude, we will get 3 I cap plus 4 j cap plus k cap by root 14. And we have to calculate the directional derivative of this del v square along this direction. So what we have to do is just multiply del v square by this unit vector. So directional derivative along normal, this is the del v square, this is our unit vector. We did the dot product and we will get 1404 by root 14. That is the answer. Got it?
Yes.
Anyone has any doubt in this question? Let me know.
Directional derivative means to multiply with the unit vector.
Yeah, you are the new student, na? No. Who is speaking?
No, sir. No, sir, I am not new.
Oh, Abhik. Okay.
Sir, Arhit.
Arhit. Okay. Yes, yes. For directional derivative means we have to multiply with the unit vector. Even if you are not calculating directional derivative, if you are calculating we did one question, the component of one vector in other direction. In that case also what we do is we calculate we did the dot product of one vector with the unit vector of other. This is what we did, na? It's sort of same. The only thing is in directional derivative we have to do the dot product with the gradient of. Gradient will give us the normal vector. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Any other student? Any question? If you have any doubt, let me know, because these questions are very important. From this topic in
सर एक बार पहले पेज में जाइए, इसके पहले वाला पेज में.
हाँ हाँ ये लो all of you have this PPT, na?
Yes, sir.
I will send you the latest by completing the full vector portion by this weekend, and next week we will finish full vectors, I think.
Sir, you have given this PPT.
Yes, I have put in the group which we have.
Sir, when you have put it?
I think 2-3 days before.
He is not in the group.
Okay. Add him also in the group, or I will send him personally if possible. Add him also in the group so that he will get all the things. Okay. Okay. You will get today. Okay. Any question? Any doubt, or should I move?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the question. Let's start the derivative of vectors. The derivative is not completely in syllabus, so we need not to focus that much, but since we are doing the partial derivative and integrals, so we can take some idea of this. If Ru is any vector and it is depending on only a single variable, that is u, then we can write the change in R. Change in this delta basically denotes the change. So if see this figure, if this vector is R of u and we move this vector by a small amount, axis is fixed, we are not changing the axis O, we move this vector by a small amount so that this vector convert into Ru plus delta u. So if you calculate this vector, this third one, this will come out to, can anyone tell me how this come out to be Ru plus delta u minus R of, Sorry?
Triangle law.
Exactly. If we apply triangle law of addition, then this vector plus this vector is equal to this vector. So we will get this. Delta r is equal to r u plus delta u minus r of u. So if we check the rate of change of delta r with delta u, so we have to divide delta r by delta u. So delta r by delta u is equal to r u plus delta u minus r of u upon delta u. This is change of r with respect to u. And if we take a very small limit means delta u tends to 0. See this, and this limit delta u tends to 0 means u can never be 0, because if delta u will be 0, this will be undefined form. Delta r upon 0 means infinite. Tends to 0 means this will be very small, something like 0.00001. You can consider it as 0, but it's not 0. So this point is clear.
Yes,
So
sir.
when we
Yes.
take this small limit, limit delta u tends to 0, and check the change of r with respect to u, then we get this dr upon du. This is what we called as the derivative of r with respect to u. Means if we are checking the derivative of any vector or any function with respect to other variable, it means we are checking the rate of change of that variable with respect to other variable, how that variable is changing if we are changing the one variable. Because in this figure what we change is u, r is a function of u. We change u by a small amount, then we are checking how much r is changing with respect to u, how it is responding to the change of u. That is what we called as the derivative of r with respect to u. Any problem in this?
No, sir.
Okay. So this r can be any vector, like usually we are doing is the space vectors x I cap, y j cap, z k cap. So these all things I am taking from Spiegel book, because when you read that book you can understand. I can follow any other book, but it will be difficult for you to understand that book again. And Spiegel is your syllabus book, means referred by the university. So I am following everything from that book, so that after class when you go through the book you will find the same things. So if we take r vector as a space vector, see, consider this is a curve, this is any curve in space, and we take one point on a curve, this point, and we draw the vector of this point, that is r of u, and then we move this point by a small amount along the curve and reach this point. Then we draw the vector of this point and take this as r u plus delta u. Then again we can calculate this delta of r by triangle law of vector, and this will come out to be same which we calculated previously, r u plus delta u minus r of u. This is this vector, this, and see x, y and z, these all are function of u. So if we are changing u, it means we are changing all the three variables x, y and z. Any single variable is not changing, all three variables are changing when we are changing u. Just keep this in mind, because this is the ordinary derivative. In ordinary derivative all variables will change at a time. So when we are changing u, we are changing all x, y and z. So again if we calculate the rate of change of r with respect to u, that will be delta r upon delta u, and this is r u plus delta u minus r of u upon del u. Again if we take the limit, this will convert into dr, this delta will convert into d, and this dr upon du we can write as dx upon du, dy upon du, dz upon du. Can anyone tell me why this expression came? Why I have written dr upon du is equal to dx upon du, dy upon du and dz upon du? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, because the change in dr by du is same as the sum of changing all the three components.
Exactly, true. Because I have shown this in one question also in next slide, because when we are changing u, we are changing all the three variables x, y and z, and if we are changing all the three variables x, y and z, it means we are taking derivative of all three variables separately, and then we are getting the derivative of full vector. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we have written because r basically is x of I cap plus y of j cap plus z of k cap. This is what we used to take r in all the questions. So we can write it separately. So this is the ordinary derivative. In this, if we are changing u, then all the three variables are changing. So this question show this expression. See, this is again the question from Spiegel. So if r of u is given by x u I cap plus y u j cap plus z u k cap, then we have to prove this expression. So dr upon du, we can write this. This I have shown you one slide before. Limit delta u tends to 0, r u plus delta u minus r of u upon del u. Since r is a function of x, y and z, if r changes from u plus delta u, then all three variables x, y and z changes from u to u plus delta u. See, x is a function of u plus delta u, y, z, and r of u means x of u, y of u, z of u. Now we can take I terms together, j terms together and k terms together. If we take I terms together, it will be x u plus delta u minus x of u. This is the first term. Then y plus delta u plus delta u minus y of u, second term, then third term. And this is nothing but dx by du, because this limit is with all three functions. So if you take with this first term, then this we can write as dx by du, this we can write as dy by du, this we can write as dz by du. So we can write this as dx by du I cap plus dy by du j cap plus dz by du k cap. Any problem in this? I am audible to all, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
है ना? Okay, so this ordinary derivative is clear to all. You have
Sir, just wait a minute, sir.
sorry.
Sir, just wait a minute in the slide.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
I'm just checking once.
Yeah. You all can check once. And the derivative you have read in your maths also, I think in 12th class. So the only thing is this you have not read there, because that derivative is given by the rate of change of one variable with respect to other. But this expression you must have seen in your 12th class, dx by dy, d square x by dy square.
Yes, sir, got it.
Got it? Okay. Now this is ordinary derivative. Now we will go to partial derivative. The only difference in both the derivative, now you can see, if we are taking partial derivative a with respect to x, then you can see that in this expression only x is changing. Y and z are as it is. Limit delta x tends to 0, a x plus delta x, and y and z are as it is, and we are checking the change of a only with, that's why we call it partial. It's not full derivative. It's a partial with respect to one variable. This is again partial derivative with respect to y. This is partial derivative with respect to z. So the variable which you are checking, that you have to change. In this we are taking with respect to x, so we change x. In this we are taking with respect to y, so we changed y. In this we are taking with respect to z, so we changed z. As simple as that. It's nothing complicated in this. The only difference between two derivatives is the ordinary derivative check the change of whole function, and the partial derivative check the change of function with respect to one variable only. This point is clear?
Yes, sir. It's
So,
clear.
okay, if we have any vector a x y z, then we can write the ordinary derivative of that vector d of a in terms of partial derivative like this. This I have used also in few question. I told you that this expression you have to remember now every time. If you want to write d of a, you can write it as del a upon del x into dx, del a upon del y into dy, plus del a upon del z into dz. This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's do the one question of derivative. I have not given the solution. You have to try, and I will also. So a particle moves so that its position vector is given by this: r is equal to cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap, where omega is you already know that this expression, omega cos omega t sin omega t. Now what first we have to show is the velocity v of the particle is perpendicular to r. So r, we already have r. We have to show that v is perpendicular to r. Can anyone tell me how we can do this? For calculating v, we have to do the derivative of r, because velocity is dr by dt. That is clear, but how you can show that r is perpendicular to v? Any guess? Anyone?
So after getting dr by dt, we can do dot product or cross product. Like that.
Exactly.
Find out angle between them.
Exactly. We can do the dot product, and if dot product come out to be 0, because in dot product there is cos theta, cos 90 is 0. So if we do the dot product and if it come out to be 0, then we can say that r is perpendicular to v. Okay. Clear to all? Okay, let's now check whether we are getting or not. Just write the expression of r, then take its derivative and tell me what is the derivative, means what is the expression of velocity you are getting. It will take 1 minute. Do it. Anyone got it?
Sir, doing sir.
Okay.
What the v value, sir?
Just tell it.
Omega into cos omega t minus sin omega t.
Omega into cos omega t. No. First tell the I cap term. What is the I cap term?
Sir, minus omega sin omega ti
Yes.
plus omega cos omega ti.
Omega t j cap. Second term is j. Yes, this is right. So if
Yes, second term is j.
if you have not done it, anyone have not done it, just write it. V is equal to minus omega sin omega t I cap plus omega cos omega t j cap.
Yes, sir.
So this is, we got the expression of v now. Now do the dot product r dot v. Only I dot I and j dot a you have to calculate. I dot j is definitely 0.
सर v का वैल्यू एक बार और बोलिए.
एक से माइनस ओमेगा साइन ओमेगा टी आई कैप प्लस ओमेगा कॉस ओमेगा टी जे कैप.
Yes.
Okay.
I also got that only.
Okay, good. So r dot v is coming 0, my is coming 0. Has anyone got it?
Doing, sir.
R dot V is equal to
0. Anyone got it? Coming na? Oh, okay. Any other?
one term will be negative, one term will be positive.
Yes. The first term will be minus omega cos omega t sin omega t, and second term is
Minus omega square sin omega t cos omega t, and second term will be plus omega square sin omega t cos omega t.
omega square will not be there, only omega.
No, omega square will not be there.
Yeah, only omega. Minus omega
Only omega.
cos omega t sin omega t plus omega cos omega t sin omega t. You both are same, minus and plus, so we will get 0. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
So let's do the second part. If anyone have not done it, you can discuss with each other and ask me also. Second part is the acceleration A is directed toward the origin and has magnitude proportional to the distance from the origin. So see, for this we have to calculate the acceleration. Acceleration means dv by dt.
dv by dt.
So whatever expression we obtain for v, just again take its derivative and tell me what is the expression of acceleration you are getting.
We have 2 by dt2, means we have to find the double derivative.
Yes, exactly, d square
Yes.
d2 r by dt square.
Sir, it is minus omega square cos omega t I cap minus omega square sin omega t j cap.
Yes, now you can take minus omega square common and check
Yes.
the inside vector is exactly equal to the r vector. Is not it?
Yes, sir, absolutely, sir.
है ना? So now what we can write is A is equal to minus omega square r.
Why me?
Okay, let me repeat.
Okay, got it, sir.
Got it? All other students
Yes, sir.
got it na? Just take its second derivative and then take minus omega square common and then the bracket term is r. So see, now what we are getting is A. Yes.
Then now we have to do r by a equals to minus omega square.
Even that is not needed. See, what we have to show in this is first is the acceleration A is directed towards the origin and has magnitude proportional to, so second part is done, its magnitude is proportional to the distance from the origin. R is the distance from the origin.
Yes, sir.
है ना? First part we can show, see, it is minus omega square r. Minus means it has, and omega is constant, and minus in this expression denotes that A has opposite sign as compared to r. So if r is outward, then A is inward, because r vector is usually outward from the origin. So it means A acceleration is inward. So both part are done. The acceleration A is directed towards the origin and has a magnitude proportional to distance from the origin. So this is clear to all.
Sir, once more that proportional until
Okay.
सर नंबर बी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है.
हाँ, अभी फिर से बोल देते हैं, कोई नहीं. देखो, ए निकाल लिया सबने, मतलब ए का एक्सप्रेशन जो मैंने बोला वो निकाला सबने, डेरिवेटिव किया
हाँ सर
सबने, ऑल ऑफ यू.
एक का वो मैंने सुना, मुझे सुना ही नहीं दिया था उस जगह.
अच्छा ठीक है, you have the v expression, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just take its derivative, dv by dt. Just take dv by dt and you will get is, let me repeat, I am repeating, just write. You will get minus omega square sin omega t I cap
Yes, sir.
minus,
No, sir, we will get minus omega square into cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap.
oh sorry, yes,
Yes, sir.
minus omega square cos omega t I cap plus, minus omega square sin omega t j cap. You are right. Now you have written.
Yes, sir.
Now just take minus omega square common, and the inside terms which you are getting is exactly r vector. What is the r vector which I have given, this cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap. So we can write it as a r. So we can write it as minus omega square r. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Huh? So this is what we have to prove, that acceleration is proportional to the distance from the origin. This is done, and this negative sign shows us that a is opposite to r, so r is outside, so a is inside. So this is also done. The acceleration is directed towards the origin. So two parts are done. The third part is r cross v is equal to a constant vector. So for this we have to calculate the cross product of r and v. You all have the expression of r and v, and you know how to calculate the cross product in a matrix form. First row will be ijk, second will be r vector, and third will be v vector. Just calculate and tell me whether you are getting a constant or not. You all are doing na cross product?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So in the place of k cap we will put 0.
Yes, 0.
Okay, sir.
If any vector is not there, any component is not there, you can put 0.
Sir, the value is coming k cap into omega cos square omega t plus omega sin square omega t.
So just tell me
Component will come.
what is coming. Repeat.
K cap into omega cos square omega t plus omega sin square omega t.
So yes, omega you can take common. The cos square omega t plus sin square omega t is 1.
1, yes,
है
sir.
ना? So it come out to be omega times of k cap,
Yes, sir, omega times of k.
and omega is a constant,
Yes, sir.
and it is given omega is a constant. So what it means is r cross v is a constant.
Okay, sir, got it.
Got it? All of you. If anyone have not got it, please tell. Try to do this. Got it. Try to do clear this question now, so that you understand some basics.
Sir, one question. Small.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
For B, the minus omega square dot r it is coming.
Mhm.
That means the magnitude is proportional to the distance of origin, which is r.
Yes,
And
yes.
for A, what we are doing? For that A, the acceleration A is directed towards the origin. For
Yes.
that part, what we are doing?
Okay. This minus na. This minus with, see, a is a vector, omega is a constant, r is also a vector. If we write any vector, a is equal to minus of b vector, it basically means that a vector is opposite to that vector b. If b is in one direction, then a is in opposite direction. This is what negative sign in vector denotes. So because A vector is equal to minus of r sorry, r vector. This basically means that a direction of A is opposite to r, and r is outward from the, if we take distance from O to outside, the vector is outward, and if r is outward, then A is inward. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so has all got this last part, r cross v is equal to omega times of k cap.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now you understand what is derivative, what is partial derivative, how to calculate. So this question contains all three things: dot product, cross product, derivative. So again, this is a practice of your dot and cross product. So yes,
There are some formulas regarding these differentiation formulas and partial differentiation vectors, like du a plus b means commutative law and that distributive laws.
yes, those are, I think you already know those. Like if a plus b is there, if you do the derivative of a plus b, that will be dA of derivative of a plus derivative of b separately.
But in case of dot and cross means together, a dot b cross c du of a dot b cross c, then the order should be maintained. Means a dot b cross dc by du plus a dot b dv by du cross c plus
Yes.
da by du dot b cross
Yes, order should be maintained, order, because these all are vectors. If you change the order, it will, because like in dot product you can change the order, it will not make any effect because a dot b is equal to b dot a. But wherever there is a cross product, their order,
Yes, the
their,
sign will change.
yeah, order matters, because a cross b is equal to minus of b cross a. You cannot directly change the order. Okay.
There is another formula
Yes,
regarding the partial differentiation of vectors.
okay.
Del square by del y del x into a dot del square by del y del x a dot b.
Yes.
Is this formula important because it is very large?
Del square upon del y. See, all these formula you need not to remember all the time. You, when you do questions na, you will you get this by default. Means don't try to learn these formulas, you will get this. When you see, even I have used many of these formulas if you check questions, but no need of remembering this, you can apply directly. Just remember the basic few formulas. Okay, so now let's go to the differentiation portion is done. Let's go to the integral portion, and this is the most important from your syllabus point of view. In syllabus basically it is written only integral is there, but for understanding the integral you need to understand the dot product, cross product, gradient, divergence, curl, and some basic understanding of derivative also. So we have covered all the topics. So see, integral are of two types. One is indefinite integral and one is definite integral. Can anyone told me difference between two?
Sir, in indefinite integral there is no limit,
Okay.
and definite integral there is a upper limit and a lower limit.
Yeah, true. In indefinite integral there is no limit, and in definite integral there is upper limit and lower limit. This is a difference between indefinite and definite integral. So if there is any vector r of u, which we can write as r1 of I cap, r2 of j cap, r3 of k cap, and this vector depend only on u, means if we change u, then all three components are changing. So if we write it in a integral form, if we are calculating the integral of ru, then it is ru of tu. So if we put this component, then all three component will be integrated separately. Like in case of derivative, all three component are differentiating separately. In integral also, all three components are integrating separately. So what we can do is r1 u du I cap plus r2 of u du j cap plus r3 of u du k cap. All three components are separate. So because there are no limits, so this is called as indefinite integral of ru. Any problem in this? It's very simple, nothing. You already know what is integration. Just till now you have done the integration of functions, and now what we are doing is integration of vectors. The only difference is yes.
Are you du plus I cap or equal to?
No, I didn't understand what you said. Repeat.
Are you integral are you du
Yes.
plus I cap or equal to I cap?
This equal.
And after that, sir, integral r1 u du plus j cap.
Yes. Because this RU contain three expression, na, R1, R2, R3, and there is plus in between. So there will be plus. You can consider that I have done nothing. Just take this expression, this R of u, and integrate it. You will get LHS one term. You will get RHS three terms, and there is equal to in between. That's it. Now got it? Okay. So this is the indefinite integral. See, if there is any vector S of u, and S of u is any vector such that we can write R is equal to del S upon del u, like if R is sine of omega t, if R is sine x, not omega t, if R is sine x, then you can write sine x as a differentiation of cos x, d by dx of cos x, sorry, minus sine x. Minus sine x is equal to d by dx of cos x, is not it?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, this R, if you integrate minus sine of x dx, then you will get this cos x dx. You all know the formula of basic integration and differentiation, na? This expression is nothing but this is what showing you is, if the derivative of cos x is sin x is cos x, then the integration of cos x is sin x. That's it. These two expression, 11th and this was, this is nothing. This is only showing you, if you are getting one expression by deriving the one, then if you reciprocal it, integrate the final expression, you will get the first expression. Any doubt in this? Because the differentiation of sin x is cos x, and if you integrate cos x, you will get sin x. This is what these two expressions are telling us, nothing else. And if there is limit from a to b, then we have to do nothing. We have to put limit in place of u, and then we will get s of a minus s of b. I think I have done wrong. This will be s of b minus s of a. Okay, no issue. You can change. So when you take the limit, this constant goes. In indefinite integration, there is always a constant. But when you are taking the definite integral, this constant goes, because this constant will come two times, one with upper limit, one with lower limit, and if you subtract, this constant will cancel out. So there is no constant in definite integral. Remember this thing. Okay. Any problem in these two slides related to integral, then, because after that we will do one question of integration. If any doubt, let me know.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, all other students?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
All, no doubt to all. Should we proceed with the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then check this. We have R of u is equal to u minus u square I cap plus 2u cube j cap minus 3k cap. We have to find, first is indefinite integral, second is definite integral. So nothing, what we have to do is just take derivative u minus, again these three terms we can integrate separately, and the integration of u is u square by 2, integration of u square is u cube by 3 plus c1, this is a constant. U cube, the integration of u cube is u4 by 2, u4 by 4, and if you cut 4 by 2, then you will get u4 by 2 plus c2, and there is no u, so this will be 3 of u k cap. This expression is clear or any doubt?
Sir,
Sir, wait for 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, yes, definitely. Just
in,
yes,
sir, in line A,
yes.
sir, you have taken I cap common in u minus u square, but in question there is no I cap in u.
It's with both. I forget to put the bracket. Okay, this is both. Okay, this PPT I used to made in tech, and sometime I forgot to, because for in tech we have to do coding, and some few expression I forget sometimes. So this is with both. Okay.
Understood, sir.
Okay, just check, try to do it by yourself and check whether you are getting same or not. Then if you are not getting, let me know.
Sir,
Yes.
instead of writing C1, C2, C3 again and again, can we just write only C?
Yes, see, in the last expression I have converted it to C. You can write directly, you can write C. This is just for explaining that we initially get 3 constant, but at then we convert it into 1. You can write only C, no issue. I think again I have done one mistake. There should be minus in the third term. This is minus. I have put plus. All of you checked it?
Sir, in front of that k cap term there will be minus.
Yes, that's what I told you. Na? I have written
Okay.
wrong. Just take it negative. So all of you are getting this expression, na? Okay. So this is the indefinite integral. Now what we have to do is we have to calculate the definite integral from lower limit 1 to upper limit 2. So just calculate this. I have put question mark and tell me what is the answer you are getting. You all should get the same answer. Just change this to minus, third term I have put plus, and let me know what is the answer you are getting for definite integral. Do it quickly and let me know.
Sir, we just have to put the limit, or we have to integrate once again?
No, you just put the limit. You need not to integrate again. After integrating you will get same expression, है ना? Just put the limits and tell me answer. You all I need response from all of you. Whatever answer you are getting, even if it's wrong, at least try and tell me what you are getting. And in the yesterday class, at the end, one student is not able to submit the test, na? Who's Indresh or Inamul?
Sir, Enamul, sir.
Inamul. But it's submitted. I checked after it's submitted. Anyone?
Sir, the answer is
Yes.
minus 5 by 6 I cap plus 15 by 2 j cap minus 3 k cap.
Just a minute. Can you repeat? Minus 5 by 2 I cap.
5 by 6
5 by 6 I cap.
plus 15 by 2 j cap minus 3 k cap.
Okay. Is anyone getting the same answer? Means I didn't try. I didn't put the limit. I am just assuming that you also getting same.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also got. Okay. 3 students
Yes,
got.
sir.
Okay. 4.
Yes.
Okay. So all got it. I think so. Should I move?
Sir, can you repeat the answer?
Answer is minus 5 by 6 I cap plus 15 by 2 j cap minus 3 k cap. I think almost 5 students said yes, so it must be right. Means all 5 are not, cannot be wrong at same time. Minus 3 k cap. Yeah, it should be 3 na. 3 to just 6, 6 minus 3, 3. Okay. So now we know what is derivative, what is integral. Now there are 3 types of integral in vectors. One is line integral, second is surface integral, third is volume integral. The difference between these 3 is, in line integral there is only one derivative, like either dx, either dy, either dz, and we have to integrate along a single line. Because it's a single derivative, there is only a line. In surface integral there are 2. Surface basically denote the area, means we are integrating over any area. So there should be 2 derivatives, because area means to plane, plane means 2 dimensional, and if we are integrating in 2 dimension, we need either dx dy, dy dz or dx dz. And third is volume integral. In volume integral we integrate throughout the volume. Throughout the volume is all 3 integration, dx, dy and dz. Okay. So first is the line integral. So if R is any vector x u, y u, z of u, and we have to integrate this along a curve. There is one curve from P1 to P2, and that curve is of any shape. There is 2 points in a space. Just make 2 points P1 and P2 and join them through any curve, as many S curve you can make. So this is integration through that curve. The shape of the curve can be any shape. So if we are integrating a vector a1 of I plus a2j, a2k, then the line integral of this along that curve from P1 to P2 is a dot dr, a vector dot dr vector. See, instead of P1 and P2 you can also write C. C means that curve which we are assuming. And if we do the dot product, then a1 means comes with dx, a2 comes with dy, a3 comes with dz. So a dot dr denotes the line integral, means integration of any vector along any curve or any line. Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
You will understand when we do the question, but if you have any doubt, let me know, because the line integral, surface, volume, these 3, and after that there are 3 theorems. This is the last 6 topics of your vector syllabus. Then your vectors will be finished. So if you have any doubt, let me know. Hopefully next week, we have 3 classes. So next week your vectors will be finished with questions. I will solve problems also. Any problem in line integral?
No, sir.
Okay. So we can write it in this form also. See, if A is a force, can anyone tell me if A is a force and if we calculate the line integral of force, what we get? What is F dot dr?
I have
Work
one
done.
question.
Yes, ask.
Forgot, for the definite integral,
Yes.
in case is there will be any constant?
No. See,
No.
this c will cancel out, na? When you subtract upper limit and lower limit, this is c minus c, so it will be 0. Okay. Yeah, what I am asking is, if we take the line integral of force, that will be F dot dr, and F dot dr is work done. You all must have learnt about this in your 12th class, na? dw is equal to F dot dr, or work done is equal to force into displacement. So if we take the line integral of force along the any and see, you also know this, that the work done is independent of path. Do you remember this statement from your 12th class?
Yes.
There is one, I think, proof also in which there is one straight line and one step by step, and then
Yes,
they,
sir, yes.
है ना? See, why that is independent of path? Because that is a line integral of force with displacement, and line integral is independent of path. As I told you, you can make as many curve between P1 and P2, but the expression for A dot dr, the result of A dot dr will not change. That's why work done is independent of path, because it's a line integral of force with displacement F dot dr, and that is a independent of path taken. This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is
Sir,
the,
I am not at C, sir.
sorry?
Along with C, moving along C,
Yes.
but I'm not getting this part, sir.
Okay.
How the C is?
How the C is? Your voice is not
Go
audible.
back to the previous page once.
Okay, yes, please.
There it is written from P1 to P2, upper
Yeah.
limit P1 to P2 A dot dr. After that, sir, is that P1 P2 written as C?
Yes, see, that's what I told you. Okay, you have copy. You have the copy and pen, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just make 2 points, mark one as P1 and second as P2, little bit far from each other. Then make any curve which is joining from P1 to P2, any curve, either straight line or zigzag, whatever you want. That curve is C. Okay, so integrating from P1 to P2 basically means we are integrating through the curve C. So that's why from P1 to P2 we can write it as a C. Now clear? Okay. This is the question. I planned it in for the next class because almost done. Now you have the test. Today we have 2 classes, you know, na? So that's why I continue one long class. Now you can give the test. Any doubt in today's class? I am giving you 5 minutes. Let me know. We can discuss. After that, you can start the test. You all have the code for test, na? Or should I tell again? Sorry?
PSC
Yes, sir.
101.
20200100349. I am sending you in chat. Just a minute.
Sir, the subject code is BSc 101.
Yes, BSc 101. I'm sending you the, just a minute. Yeah. started test.
Sir,
No,
till
sir.
which time exam is open?
It open till 7 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
But once you log in, means once you open it, then you have to submit it, I think, in 15 or 20 minutes. So if you open it now, you have to submit now itself. I have given the time till 7 o'clock, but if you are opening it, then you have to submit.
Okay, sir.
है ना?
So should